Okay, so nice to have you back here in my new video again. Let's talk about something that is still very unique on the Insta360 One R, even in the year 2021. I'm talking about the curvature ND filter designed by FreeWell. It fits nicely with Insta360 One R 360 mode. And with this combo set, you are able to create a cinematic motion blur in your photographs and videos as well. That will change how you create photo and video dramatically. And before we get started, I'd like to share with you some of the latest results that I've ever captured with the combo set. How do you like this footage? Coming next, I'm gonna teach you a step-by-step tutorial from start to finish from some basic theory on ND filter, especially the ND filter design specific for 360 cameras, and some of the bonus tips and tricks to make the best settings for your camera to work properly even in the daytime with ND filter. And later I will also share with you how to quickly share on your social media with the motion blur effect within seconds. If you also drive for the high quality workflow, we also go to the desktop, show some screen recorder, show you the ultimate workflow to get the best quality. So now let's get started. Okay, first thing first, let's talk about something great on the ND filter. And here I purchased an ND filter bundle set designed by FreeWell. FreeWell is a great manufacturer. It is worth the first manufacturer that ever created a curvature ND filter designed specific for 360 camera of the Insta360 One R. And you should also know that FreeWell also designed a wider range of ND filter, such as it also designed ND filter for the Insta360 One R 1-inch edition and also the 4K mod. And this is how it works when working with the 4K build and Insta360 1-inch Leica build. And for the 360 ND filter, I have purchased ND16 and the ND32 because I want the slowest shutter speed as possible and I will capture motion blur in the daytime. And coming next, I will show you how to mount the ND filter with a One R 360 mode and also share with you some bonus tips that could work nicely perfect with your ND filter designed by FreeWell. Now let's unbox the FreeWell 360 ND filter, a neutral density ND32 filter for Insta360 One R 360 edition with two separate parts. Both of them have a curvature surface. You can prevent light from coming into the lens. It will lower down the exposure shot for 5 stops. This is what's inside the package, a high quality plastic case that fits 2 of the 360 ND filter inside this bundle and with magnetic clip design. Did you see that? When you don't want to use your ND filter, remember to put all of them inside the case because it's really high quality and it will protect your ND filter. And once you have a scratch on the surface, it will damage your imaging quality. You will also find the filter guide and a small package full of the warranty cards. And here I want to share with you is this guide. It is a video tutorial. So FreeWell actually designed a series of video tutorials for free online, and you can scan this QR code to learn the basic. There are altogether 10 chapters. First, you have to take out both of them, and they have a pretty the same shape compared with the Insta360 One R lens guard. Official plastic cage is like this one in your package, or I have purchased another plastic cage that has a cold shoe mount on the top. Both of this plastic cage designed by Insta360 fits nicely off the ND filter. And on the bottom of the ND filter, you can see there is a small hinge on this one, and also on the other side. So you can place the ND filter, connect together with the hinge, and quickly snap and lock. It works on Insta360 One R 360 build. FreeWell also has a wide range of choices for the standard day 4-pack, sunny day 4-pack, for the One R 4K wide-angle mode. And this is how it works when mount on your 4K mode. So just snap and lock. And you can use with your official plastic cage or it can work nicely with the ULenzy metal cage. And you can, with the metal cage, it doesn't affect the filter. Put out this filter before you take out the camera, or your filter will block the way and it will drop to the ground to scratch the surface. For the one you Leica build, it also works pretty nice. And just remember to remove the protection lens and screw on this ND filter, just like you have a new lens guard. Remove the ND filter before you want to take out the camera, before you want to change the orientation of the touchscreen. And with the Insta360 One R 360 mode, once you mount the ND filter, you can see it blocks the way of the multi-touch screen. If you want to set everything on the touch screen now, it becomes tricky. Always turn on the screen rotation, so you can rotate with your movement, and you can choose from different options and find options on the surface. I can't choose in between the mode, and once I have rotate the camera, now I can select and see what I want to capture in photo, standard, or video, and rotate back. You can scroll from right to left, and I can change my shutter speed, white balance, ISO, change the countdown timer. So this is an alternative solution for the 360 build. For the ND filter mount on 360 mode, it is crucial to have a precise light preview to control the exposure before you take the shot. If you want to change in between different modes, you have to rotate upwards like this one. And you can see auto, manual, ISO priority, and remember to capture in RAW plus JPEG for the best quality. Rotation, rotate back, click on OK. It's kind of like tricky, and I hope Insta360 could improve. I also come across with a very unique solution. So if you are capturing every day, this is a great everyday carry case, and you can mount the selfie stick on the bottom. And if you want to travel long range, you better place your ND filter inside this box. And here is the tricky part when you want to remove the ND filter from your plastic cage. You can see you can remove this one. It's the other side. Sometimes it is quite difficult. Here is a bonus tip for you. You can remove the plastic case. Easy to be scratched up this lens. To bear in mind, be gentle with your ND filter because you don't want to scratch the surface and you don't want to damage your final quality. Now let's talk about how to shoot, mount, and trigger your camera during high-speed motion on a motorcycle or something else. The 17 centimeters invisible selfie stick, it is very short to hold in your hand. The plastic cage comes in your package. 360 mode ND filter that fits nicely on 360 mode lenses, and everything shot in manual mode to get the best motion blur effect. And try to capture a little bit more overexposed because you want to get the longest shutter speed, and you don't want to miss any one of the motion in your final shot. And I recommend you can capture in burst mode because in burst mode you will capture 9 shots in the sequence, and you can choose from one to another. It is great to choose the best moment on your app or on your desktop. You should know that always bear safety in mind because capturing high-speed motion is quite dangerous. You have to keep calm and keep safe. For the camera, I will choose countdown timer. I will choose 5-second countdown so that you can press the shutter button, stretch out the selfie stick, take out to the motorcycle driver and capture the shot. This is my basic workflow. And you can also trigger the camera with the GPS remote control via Bluetooth or the Roadie remote. And I've ever introduced you in my previous video. But I want to clear nadir part, so I choose the handheld and with a timer to trigger my camera during motion in full manual burst capture, and that is all of my secrets. I have already connected with the camera and copy and paste all the burst capture files in my app. And here in the album, you can see there are 4 sets of burst capture. In each of the set, I have 9 shots. And you can see I will select this one. I was capturing RAW plus JPEG, but on Insta360 app with Insta360 One R 360 mode, there is no pure shot, so you can only preview the JPEG format. This is how it looks like. And in the burst capture, the first image gonna have the horizon level. You can see it will automatically correct the horizon line. And for the next one, you can see there is just no horizon leveling, but doesn't matter. And in the motion blur effect, if you intentionally calibrate the horizon line with 15 degree or even more, that will also give you a better immersive experience and make them feel unstable. If you take a look around, I want to choose the photo that has the most motion blur. Take a look at the trees. And if I capture this one, you can see, yeah, the motion blur is even better because it is located right in the middle of the frame. That will give you some better motion blur effect. That is the reason why I suggest to capture in burst mode, because you can choose in the history, find the best moment. You should know that stitch for lens guard, because with the ND filter, it has the same shape with lens guard. If you didn't capture in lens guard, you can see the stitching area. And with the lens guard ND filter, the field of view is a little bit narrower compared with a pure capture. And also turn on chromatic calibration, because it will improve your imaging quality by removing most of the color chromatic aberration. I want to place the people in the center of the frame, 9x16, 16x9, and one square. If you want to capture, want to share on Instagram, just crop a circle, a crop in a square format. And this is how I want to place myself and the motorcycle driver. Okay, so far so good. And if you intentionally move the horizon line a little bit, you can see, place the people in a diagonal line, something great is happening. It is more dramatic right now. And add to favorite, so that next time open the app, you can quickly find its capture. And there are even more. If you want to take a snapshot, you can save a 360 image or just save the current image. So the current image is just like a reframed crop right in the center of the frame, that what you are looking at right now on the cell phone. Going to be cropped from the 360 image and save as a square image that fits nicely on Instagram or some other platform. We can add even more filters. Let's take it again. And the top line, this button, you can see you can add even more filters. The comic, A1, A2, A3. And you can also change the transparency of the filter effect. I think I kind of like this one because it is so energetic. Click on Snapshot and save the current image. If you place the image into the Instagram really did a great job in the filter. And you can see you can change in between different filters, and directly in the Instagram you can get and see the result before and after. Yeah, this one you can also change transparency. Yeah. And this image will also save to your gallery once you post the image on your Instagram. And that is how I quickly edit and share the motion blur effect, quickly share to the social platform. You know, with the burst capture in RAW plus JPEG, you have 9 high quality raw data captured with the Insta360 One R camera. And if you want to get the best quality, follow me. I'm gonna show you all of my steps in a desktop high quality workflow. Now let's go to the desktop. Here I will use my MacBook Pro to show you the power of here in the Adobe Bridge. I have a folder called Motor. Inside this folder, there are all kinds of the burst capture photos I was writing with my friends. I was sitting behind, and I can choose one of them to show you some very simple and yet very effective tricks with the help of the Insta360 Studio 2021. It is a very powerful tool to boost your workflow on the desktop. Okay, let's take a look at all the INSP photos. So yes, yeah, I'm gonna show you this one. It's a burst capture, and it will help me capture 9 RAW plus JPEG photos. Select 18 photos, directly drag and drop to Insta360 Studio. I'm gonna show you how the Insta360 Studio will cope with all these data. Okay, so now I'll go to Insta360 Studio, see a series of 9 shots in a sequence, and the burst shot consists of 9 JPEG files. You can choose one of them as the best choice and make some further editing. And remember that in the burst capture, only the first shot has the stabilization data. And you can see a tiny little stitching artifacts in the stitching area. You can see you can turn on automatically horizon correction. And if you go to the other one, you can see there's no auto leveling. I'd like to show this photo and make a crop. I can choose choose a little tiny planet. I think tiny planet has the best possible view. And drag and drop until you find the best possible reframe shots like this one. With the help of Insta360 Studio, it also has the color plus. You can turn it on or off. As you can see, when you turn on the color plus, your photo will look more dramatic. Yeah, if you are pretty satisfied with the reframe capture, you can directly hit this capture and save as a reframe screenshot from the 360 image. If you are satisfied with you can also export and to your folder, and it is a 6K long edge, and you can make some further editing. The Studio 2021 also supports the native raw DNG stitching. Here you can see, for example, like this one, I can directly export. Now you can export, click on OK. Same folder, you can see there is a new raw data that has been stitched straight out from the Insta360 Studio. And you should also bear in mind that only the first capture with the raw image could have the auto leveling. So you can go through this one. This one has the auto leveling, which is great. This is before, this is after. Export. Now we have a brand new raw image, and we can fine-tune it and make some color correction with the help of camera raw. With auto, as you can see, bring back the details and lower down the texture to add more blurry effect in this image, and add a little bit more dehaze, increase the contrast. So in Adobe Raw Imaging Galleries, we have some preset. As you can see, for example, I like this one, the warm contrast. It has something like Peter McKinnon looking. Next one, I'm gonna teach you the very advanced and at the same time the highest quality workflow with the help of the desktop, the MacBook Pro. Here you can see in Adobe Bridge, sort by type, because I only want to use the raw image. Burst 9 capture mode, Adobe Camera Raw, and color correct the dual fisheye images. As you can see, when you mount ND filter on your Insta360 One R, the field of view tend to be a little bit smaller compared with the 360 mode. So the stitching template gonna change. Choose auto, bring back the highlight, add a little bit more contrast, add a little bit lower down the texture, dehaze to make the whole image a little bit more contrasty. Command A to select all the images and select Option plus S to synchronize all the settings, and click on OK, and Command S to export as JPEG or TIFF format, whatever you want, it doesn't matter. What I want to do later on is to stack the 9 images inside Photoshop to add even more motion blur effect. And click on Tools, Photoshop, load file into Photoshop layers. I could stack them as 9 individual imaging layers in Photoshop. But before we stack them all together, I'd like to duplicate the first imaging layers because I want to bring back a little bit more sharp image from the individual layers, but also I want to add overall a better motion blur. So select all the 9 images, right click, convert to smart object, and go to layers, smart object, stack mode, choose min stack. Min stack is to use average stacking, average all the 9 images together to add even more motion blur. Now we get an even better motion blur. So this is before and after. You can see before and after. Okay, and merge all these layers and save as a new file. For example, stacked motor.jpg. Okay, and that's it. And that is the final dual fisheye images we're going to stitch with our stitcher. The Insta360 Studio 2021 doesn't support post-processed files with from other software, so we're gonna use the PTGui Pro 12, and I have made a customized stitching template designed specific for for the ND filter of the Insta360 One R. So by default, the PTGui Pro 12 gonna utilize a native stitching template for 360 mode without lens guard, without ND filter. But here I have made a customized template for you guys, and I will put the download link in my video description for your reference. And if you apply this template, you can see it will have almost perfect stitch, because it takes me quite a lot of time to calibrate the stitching parameters designed specific for the ND filter. Skip the part and directly enjoy the best possible result. And PTGui Pro 12 really did a good job, because you can see it has a better algorithm. It doesn't have that much stitching artifacts compared with the native Insta360 Studio. So that is why, the reason why I highly recommend you can purchase one of the PTGui Pro 12 as your professional secret weapon. Immersive experience, I highly recommend you can intentionally offset horizon line by something like 50 degrees or even more. And also in the projection, you can also change numeric transform at 15 roll angle, yeah, like this one, and you can change the horizon line to 50 degrees. Now you can create a panorama. You don't have to align this image anymore, because I have already applied the template stitching for you. And directly export to your folder, and here in the bridge you should see these images. Adobe Camera Raw also supports the 360 imaging post-process with the latest update. And here I would like to add a little bit more preset to add more dramatic looking. For example, like this one, a warm contrast. I think it works great overall result. And also bring back a little bit more detail, add a little bit more texture, add a little bit more contrast. Yeah, Control S, save as a new file, and this is the final shot. Luckily, we can preview this image inside the Insta360 Studio. Okay, let's take a look at this one. Yeah, did you see that? You can also recapture with these images. Did you see that? And with this image, you get an even better overall result. But here you do see a little bit of the artifacts, because PTGui Pro doesn't support optical flow stitching, so it kind of like creates some artifacts, but doesn't matter. It's very easy to get rid of with some patch tools. And that's it. That is advanced high quality workflow based on the desktop software to give you the best possible motion blur effect with a combo set of the Insta360 One R 360 mode and the FreeWell ND Filter. About the stitching comparison, I still want to add a little bit more summary at the end of the video. For the stitching quality, I think the PTGui Pro really did a good job. I mean the PTGui Pro 12, and next one is the Insta360 App. I think the app could handle the stitching artifacts very well. It's even better than Insta360 Studio 2021. The Studio 2021 should improve the stitching artifacts in the future to make it more compatible with the ND filter. And with the precautions about ambient light, I think you can definitely create stunning content with the help of the ND filter. For the 360 camera working with ND filter, I think we are just getting started. We should make more experiment and keep exploring the potential together with ND filter and the 360 cameras. When the new model has come, we can have a native ND filter right inside the camera body, or we can have a better design ND filter that works seamlessly together with our 360 cameras. And let's work together to help improve the 360 camera and push the boundary to the next level. To sum up, in this video, I have shared with you some of the basic series on the ND filter, especially the curvature ND filter designed specific for the One R 360 build. From shooting to mounting to trigger the camera to quickly share on a social platform, finally give you the high quality desktop workflow to boost your quality to the next level in combination with ND filter, motion blur, and a great mind. If you found this video helpful, please don't forget to thumb up, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. More to come in the future. Talk to you soon. Until next time, bye.